has changed in college football, but over more than 150 years, there have been some things that you can count on. If you can run the football, you have a chance to win. And boy, do we have guys who can do that in this one. Welcome to Austin, Texas, and DKR, home of the Texas Longhorns. As we'll see, the runner-up from last year's national championship, the Oregon Ducks, taking on a team from the SEC, the Texas Longhorns. Glad to have you with us for EA Sports College Football. I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack, and Jesse Palmer with me in the booth. Guys, we are ready to tee it up. The Ducks ready to put toe to leather and get this season started. Rather underwhelming start as the kickoff goes out of bounds. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty.
Ready? Cricket.
Back to pass, it's Owens. Snagged out of the air. Nice pickup there. Gets him the first down and sets him up at the 45-yard line. That big pickup on what they call the drag route, but if you hit it on time, you can hit the turbo boosters.
And you've got to be accurate on the throw too, Reese. Nice job by the QB there, putting it out in front of his receiver to make an easy catch and then advance it.
Looking downfield on first down. Got it behind the line. It's buried. Inside the 30. Out of bounds right at the 20-yard line. Edge of the red zone, and they have their eyes on the score. They've done a really good job identifying mismatches, and they find one out of the backfield there.
Reese, I really don't think it's that hard. My guy is better than yours. Find the matchup across the field. Running back's got some speed. Get it in his hands quickly. Throw it to him fast. Let him make somebody miss against a slower guy that's usually a linebacker.
Under fire. Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance. Guys, when you really take a look at Texas, the only important expectations are the ones inside the program. But when you start the season on the outside of the rankings looking in, it can give you a little bit of an edge, can it?
Yeah, they want to prove to everybody they should have been ranked coming into this year. These players are angry. They feel like they're being disrespected, and they want to make a point to...
Touchdown, Texas! Snagged in the end zone to give them 6. They draw first blood, and that is exactly what you want to open the season with a drive like that. Setting up for the extra point after the first score of the game. And he's got the extra point, and it's 7-0 to start this one.
One of the areas they really focused on with this receiver in the offseason was we need you to make more plays for us in the end zone. When we're taking shots, we need you to be able to step up and make tough catches. And David, what a grab right there.
And I think a lot of that has to do with trusting your guy, knowing where he's going to be, knowing when he's going to sit down, when he's not, so being on the same page, and then having a guy that can go get it. Just when the ball is near him, he's going to make the play, just like he did right there for 6 points.
This place is roaring, and it's going to be so hard to operate under these conditions. Moore to the air. That's reeled in. It's Moore. And they pick up just a few on that completion. Let's take just a second and talk about Oregon. What an offseason in the recruiting department, reeling in a top 10 class, and you've got to think that's going to help.
Man, yeah, it's just nice when you get some recruiting and some excitement, right? Get a top 10 class. You know the talent is really, really good. The young talent pushes the older talent, Jesse, and it just makes the squad obviously so much better.
And with that top 10 class, David, they really feel like they were able to reload the roster, and they think they've got some impact freshmen in this class as well. Can't wait to see what they do today.
Finds a little bit of space, gets 3 to the 22.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
Horns up and ready to hook them. Serious noise on third down in DKR. He'll set up to throw. Using his legs, keeping his eyes downfield. Grab near the sticks. It's Scott. Building momentum, picking up a chunk of yardage, moving the chains out to the 34.
Well, after watching the other offense go down the field and score a touchdown, you know this guy's trying to lead his offense to do the exact same thing. That was a big third down. I know there's a lot of football left to play, but you're trying to establish confidence as early as possible. That last throw is really going to help out your team.
Looking to throw on first down. Pressure coming. Trying to make magic on the scramble. Only a short gain on that run. Defense played it well.
Welcome to the frustrating reality of college football. Like, the guy at the quarterback spot, he can just do that. Pull it down, get positive yards, makes the defense have to account for him every single play.
This crowd bringing the energy and noise early. Finds his tight end. And the big fella couldn't elude the cornerback who makes a sure tackle. And the Ducks are in the hurry up. They'll try to run for it. They'll get the first down. It's spotted on the 49.
Yeah, and it's so nice. Don't overthink it, right? Just hand it off, get the first down, new set of downs, let's go.
The Ducks have their offense in high gear. Moore will throw. Snagged in the middle. It's Moore. A 7-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 3.
And listen, I'm going to move this guy everywhere. He's in the slot this time, but I'm not going to let the defense understand where he's lining up so they can double team him, put him in the slot, put him out wide. Either way, find this guy early and often.
The Ducks with a 2nd and short to keep this drive moving. They'll try the toss to the left. Quick spin on the ride. They finally get him stopped, but this veteran junior running back comes up with a nice play. No matter what uniform the Ducks are rocking, they are dressed for success on the ground.
Yeah, and that's who they are, right? They're dressed for success. They run the football, and then after that, what do? They run it some more, and they run it fast. Every Oregon team always been built on that tempo and ground game.
Lost a throw on first down. Buys a little time with his feet. Fires to the right. Intercepted. Big play. Stops the drive.
It's really hard when that quarterback gets outside the pocket because it cuts off half of the field. Once he starts to roll out, everybody starts to sprint to the other side of the field. You know you're not going to throw it across your body going to the right. Great job on the defense, closing it off and making the interception.
This drive will commence from their own 11-yard line. Looking to throw on first down. Using his legs to buy some time. And he's left with no option. He just threw it away.
And that goes down as incompletion, but that's a smart play. And the QB coach and the OC will be very happy with the decision of the quarterback. He got outside of the pocket. He obviously was he's outside the tackle box as he knew he could throw it away as long as he got it past the line of scrimmage. Nothing there, nothing open. Live to fight another down.
Back to throw, it's Owens. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down.
A good job by this defense. Great job in the secondary. Eyes on the quarterback. They took away the first option, made him go to option 2, made him go through his progression, and then they got time to get home and get a hit on the quarterback.
Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. Makes the catch. It's Johnson. This offense has a little room and a fresh set of downs at the 23. We asked earlier this week, who's your favorite receiver? And, of course, he said the open one. But we know who he really wants to go to on third down.
The best one. I mean, I think the open one, obviously the politically correct answer, but you want to find the guy that you got that great chemistry with. You know exactly where he's going to be. You got that bond and that trust.
I love the quick decision that QB made there on that RPO, knowing he wanted to get it out of his hands fast. He just needs to make a more accurate throw moving forward.
Backed up now. Here's 2nd and long. Couldn't connect on 1st down. Now back to the air. Picked off. What a play to set him up. Got some room to run. Touchdown, Oregon. What a play. Not only the interception, but the great return for the score.
This is a defense that prides themselves on getting turnovers, and it starts with the pass rush. It was the hit on the quarterback that forced the throw to not be as accurate as the QB would have liked. Nice job in the back end, securing the interception, and then taking it the distance.
The extra point here would tie the game. And the extra point splits the uprights. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. From inside the 20, chance for great field position. Maybe if he could have eluded just 1 or 2 more guys, it would have been a big return, but they'll mark it at the 30. They'll put the ball in play from their own 30-yard line. Using his legs, it's Berry. Finding a way to put that foot in the ground and get it up to the 37-yard line.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
They'll go right back to him. And he's able to shed 1 tackle, but still just a very short gain.
Well, I think the defense is expecting here on 3rd down that this running back's going to get it again. He got it on 1st, had a nice carry, got it on 2nd. Now he set him up in 3rd and short. You've got to be physical here and make sure this guy goes backwards.
On 3rd and short, they'll try to pick it up on the ground here. Works his way to the 41, and that is plenty to give him a 1st down. Absolutely nothing settled. Deadlocked after 1 period of play as we have a look at the stats. We've got a good one going here and looking forward to keep those vibes rolling here in the 2nd. So after the break, they'll go back to work. Dropping back, it's Owens. He unleashes a long one. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers. Guys, let's take a big view of Texas. One of the big storylines coming into this year was the rising temperature of the coach's seat, and the process of cooling things off starts now.
All offseason, this coach has said the right things. I'm not worried about it. I'm not focused on it. I'm just worried about our team. But, David, let's be real. He's got to win games. There is an expectation at this program to win, and if he doesn't start fast this year, that hot seat's only going to get him.
No, and then the chirping starts, and everybody's going to be talking about his job. The pressure builds, and then what happens? Sometimes you lose the locker room. So important to get off to a good start. Try to quiet some of those haters and some of those doubters.
The Longhorns are moving quickly down the field. Leaves it with the back. And a decent gain there before the defense makes the stop.
It's going to be important this offensive line is able to get a little bit of push. You just got to give this guy an inch, a little crease, and he can make yards for you.
And the Longhorns can really attack on this 2nd and short. Wide receiver going in motion. going to swing it on second down. Pulls it in. It's McCutcheon. They make the stop, and he'll have enough yardage for a first down.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
And the Longhorns will have it 1st and 10. Looking to throw, it's Owens. Now improvising. A strike downfield. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the first down.
And this quarterback wasn't thinking about taking off and running with that one. He was outside the pocket, but he kept his eyes down the field. He kept reading the coverage. He was surveying to find an open target. Accurate throw, and they get the first down.
From the red zone, looking for a receiver. And he will score! Touchdown, Longhorn!
One of the reasons this offense is so exciting to watch, they've got guys that are dangerous after the catch. If this quarterback gets through his progression, David, hits you in stride, these guys will take it to the house.
Man, it's your job to do the rest, right? You hit me in stride where I don't have to stop running. I don't have to break down. It makes it so easy. The connection between quarterback and wide receiver, you can tell this is a good one, and that's why they got 6 on that play.
On to attempt the try. And the PAT gives them a 14-7 lead. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Boys, if it's happening in college football, we've got eyes on it. Check this out. Maryland is in trouble right now, and unless something changes, this is the type of day that can crush morale. They're trailing by 14 to James Madison. For now, it's back to you fellas, but of course, if anything changes, you'll see it right here.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. Well, they had that last drive moving a little bit, David, but then the mistake just crushed them.
Yeah, and those mistakes are going to happen. You're going to throw the football, you're going to throw interceptions. But I think I stay aggressive with this offense. I get back to what I did on the first part of that drive that made me successful.
I agree, David. Just turn the page if you're a quarterback, right? On this drive, you did a lot of good things there leading up to that pick. Forget about it, move on, play the next play.
And the Ducks in a good spot here with 2nd and short. Wide receiver comes in motion. Moore to the air. And they're not quite in rhythm there. It's incomplete.
And how nice is it to have the home crowd going absolutely bananas? Communication is harder. The snapping the football, everybody being on time. Man, this crowd really affecting the football game.
DKR heating up and trying to make 3rd down impossible here. They'll try to get the first through the air. Flushed out of the pocket. Throwing on the run. Makes a catch down the right side. How about this senior picking up some yardage and making a nice play on that one?
That's going to drive the defensive coordinator crazy because these guys take pride on their sub-defense packages. When you get into 3rd and long situations, that's when D coordinators love to get creative and throw all these exotic blitzes and pressure the quarterback. Nobody got even close to him that time. Way too much time to survey the field. And that was just way too easy for the offense to pick up that first.
The clock has reached the 2-minute mark, and they have a chance to at least cut into this lead before the break. Now they'll try to cash in this drive. 1st and 10 from the 50. move. Make the stop at the 40, but it's a 10-yard gain and a fresh set of downs.
Man, coaches talked about they want to get this running back involved early and often and create some momentum, and this is a great way to do it. Early in this football game, ripping off an explosive run, get the juices going, and I bet you he's going to get a few more touches today.
The Ducks come to the line with a new set of downs. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Man, it's easy to call plays when you're getting 5 or 6 yards a pop on the ground. Like, why would I get complicated? Why would I get complex? Like, up front right now, this group just win, fall forward, get that good gain, stay ahead of the sticks, don't have to get in bad situations. This defense better respond, or else I'll do that all the way down the field.
Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Motion from the wideout. Moore will throw. Catch in the middle, it's Moore. Now he's got it all the way down to the 21-yard line, and they are threatening on 1st down.
That wide receiver on the outside is dangerous. When you're playing zone coverage, it's really hard because you're not chasing him. You can't really get hands on him. You got to make sure you send more guys his direction. Maybe slide those linebackers toward that wide receiver so you got a little more help on the outside.
They'll try to get the edge with the toss play here. Got some room, headed to the goal line. He now has 56 yards on the ground, and he wanted to make a first impression, and he's doing that in this opening game.
This play works for one reason. You toss the ball quickly to the left, receivers have to block. Once that running back gets on the perimeter, you're going nowhere if those receivers aren't committed to getting on those DBs, locking on them, running their feet. That's not their first priority. I know they're going to catch the ball more than they're going to block. Nice job blocking in that toss.
He wants to throw it. He's going for the goal line. Touchdown, Ducks! They punctuate the chance with a trip to the end zone.
Man, that was beautiful clock management. Great job by this offense, sustaining the drive, not getting too much in a panic, and finishing the drive with a touchdown with not a lot of time on the clock.
And the extra point was good. And that extra point was good, and we're all tied up here in the 2nd. So here comes the kickoff after the touchdown, and the last thing you need right before the half is to give up a big return. Straight ahead from inside his 25. He's chased out of bounds, but he takes that return across the 50 to the 48. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. One more snap coming before halftime. To the air, it's Owens. Under fire. The pass falls incomplete, and that's how we'll finish this half. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update. The Longhorns will kick it away to start the second half. Looking for blockers. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. up in a ball game. Oh, he's got some space. Touchdown, Oregon. And that one will give them the lead. You know they love their track at Oregon. And when the gun goes off and he hits open field, he is headed to the tape, and he was burning by the time he hit the end zone.
And they've had guys year after year with serious track speed. They'll get you the small runs, lull you to sleep, and then boom, they make those big plays because they got big-time playmakers with speed at running back.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. If only it were always this easy for the offensive coordinators. One play, big chunk yardage, put points on the board just like that. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Looking for an alley from inside his own 20. Needed just a little more help to turn that into a big return. They'll mark him down at the 29. And here come the horns. They've got it again on offense. They'll try to answer that last score with one of their own. A chance here to tie the game with a touchdown drive. Dropping back, it's Owens. Sets up the screen. No siree, not this time. The defense was there and ready for that one.
You know, that's one as a quarterback. When you see all those defenders around your intended target like that, just throw it in the ground or throw it away. I mean, that's a completion that loses yards. You're just hurting your offense there.
The Longhorns with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. They'll move the wide receiver. Back to pass on second down. The short hands, it's Berry. Stopped after a good pickup, and he'll be just a tad short of the first down.
Yeah, and you see running backs in today's football, they play a wide receiver basically for you, but you got to find a guy that you can throw it to, and you know he's going to catch the ball consistently.
The Longhorns come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep the drive moving. Off play action. Wide open downfield. Just gashing this defense. A big gainer to the 40-yard line. He might have expected to see this DB up in his receiver's kitchen. Instead, nice little zone, and they pick up the first.
Man, offenses are getting so good, Reese, at seeing the holes in the zone, knowing you're in zone, knowing where to sit down, how to make it an easy pitch and catch for the quarterback, and that's what it was on 3rd and short.
Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run.
And I think this has probably been the most surprising thing of this game so far. This guy's one of the best running backs in the entire country. They just can't get him going. He's never been able to get into a rhythm. You got to give the defense so much credit because they have been able to shut this guy down, and they got to keep that up here in the second half.
They'll go to work in the air on second down. Grab through to the middle. It's Washington. Gets him on the ground at the 28, but not before a big 10-yard pickup.
The big fella, the tight end, the wide receiver in a tight end's body going up and making the catch.
And the Longhorns are moving quickly down the field. Looking to pass. It's Owens. Throws to the wideout. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces second down.
Well, you can see the frustration on this guy's face. He's one of the best receivers in college football, and they knew coming into this game that he had to get touches. But you can't say enough about how good this defense has been defending him. They've always had an answer, whether it's single coverage, double coverage, man or zone. They have not let him go off, and that's a big reason why they're winning this game.
The give to the running back from the shotgun. He's just outside the 20-yard line, stopped at the 21 after a pickup of 6.
You just sense the frustration starting to build, not only on offense, but I think with this running back as well. He is so talented. He's had some massive games throughout his career. Just haven't been able to get him going early in this game. That was a pretty good run there. Let's see if he can turn it on here in the second half.
Motion from the wide receiver. Grab behind the line. It's McCutcheon. Out of bounds he goes. They'll mark it at the 16. These two guys, just on the same wavelength, they make clutch connections all the time.
And that's practice, man. That's all summer. That's all spring. Just so many hundreds and thousands of balls where you know exactly when that guy's going to break. You know he's a stud. You're going to feed him, especially on these third down situations.
To the ground with the back. Brought down, but not before he bowled his way inside the 10 to the 8.
Defensively, with all the space now in spread football, there's so many opportunities where it's one-on-one tackling, and it's really hard to do. It's hard to get guys to the ground that are so talented. That's why defenses have to swarm to the football, get multiple guys there. That's your best chance to not have broken tackles.
Going to work in the red zone, they can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. They go to the ground. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
Another tough run for this offense, and I think a big reason why they're down on the scoreboard right now is they just haven't been able to get this guy going. They've tried to give him the ball a lot. It just hasn't paid off, but you get the feeling, too, if they are going to crawl back in this one, they need him to break one off, and it just takes one play for this guy. Don't be impatient. You got to keep giving him the football.
Back in motion, try to clear the picture. Looking for a man. It's Owens. It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover. Going the other way, and he's got room. He's at the 40, the 20, the 10, and he's going to take it all the way. Touchdown, Ducks! Just one moment, and all of a sudden, the fortunes turn.
You're in a position where you're about to give up points, and now you flip that around and you put points on the board. Perfectly executed. What do you do in an interception? First guy blocks the intended receiver. Everybody else starts to form a wall where the ball's going. Nice blocking, nice interception, nice return for the touchdown.
And the extra point pushes the lead to 14. Kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. From inside the 10-yard line, he'll bring it back. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. Drive opens up at the 23-yard line. Quarterback adjusting the pattern. Off the play fake on first down to throw. Unloads to the wideout. And that one's incomplete. Worth taking a shot there, but couldn't hook up.
I love that play call by the offensive coordinator. Your quarterback just threw a pick six. You want to pick him right back up, right? So don't handcuff him. On the very first play of the next drive, let him throw the football to try to reestablish a rhythm and reestablish some confidence. Obviously, that one falls incomplete, but they need to get this guy back into a rhythm. The only way you do that is by throwing the ball.
The give to the back. Just ran over it. Good, solid run on that one as he gets it up to the 33-yard line. That's the end of the period, and Oregon has the lead. They've built a comfortable lead after 3 quarters of play. Let's take a look at how we got here. One more period to go, and we'll see just how much fight they've got left in them. So we open the final period with a 3rd down play. On 3rd and short, they'll ride the running back here. At midfield, he's got room. There he goes. And after gobbling up some serious yardage and showing off those wheels, he's finally out of bounds.
Well, the good news is you got the 1st down running it there on 2nd and short, but the bad news is you're down by quite a bit here in the 4th quarter, and 2, 3, 4-yard gains aren't going to get it done. You've got to start chucking this thing vertically to get back in the game.
The Longhorns, after exploding for that huge run, back to work. They'll throw it from the red zone. He makes a grab. Makes a catch with defenders everywhere, and now the defense backed up with a 1st and goal from the 5.
Well, if you could give a helmet sticker to this defensive coaching staff, they would get one because of the plan they've had for this guy at wide receiver. He is one of the best in the entire country with his speed and his athleticism, but they have had a plan for him, whether it's man coverage, zone, they've been able to double him, they've been able to change up the looks, and they have not been able to get him involved in the game, and that's why they're going to win this one.
They've got it down to the 3. Now it's 2nd and goal. Tries again to get it in. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
Unsuccessful 2nd down, and now I'm immediately thinking, I got a little bit more than I want, so what are my pass plays? What am I going to get into here offensively to try to have success on 3rd down?
Looking for the touchdown on 3rd and goal. Wideout trying to get it in. And they've got him down after the short completion, but they inch closer and closer to pay dirt. That leaves him with a tough 4th down situation. You'd love to just chip into the lead, but at this point, a touchdown's what you're after.
And I think it just clears up the decision-making later in the game. But I think you stay aggressive here. You try to get the touchdown. You're not going to have very many opportunities like this left in this ball game in the 4th quarter.
A field goal really doesn't do much for you in this situation, so they'll go for it on 4th and goal. Sends it back in motion. Looking for a man. It's Lacey. Trying to pick up the 1st out of the backfield. And he's going to score. Touchdown, Texas! Man, did he get walloped on that play.
He did. He got smashed, but what happened? He got the touchdown. That's all that matters. I don't care if I get hit, Coach. I got me a touchdown.
And it's up and good as they draw just a touch closer. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
They've been talking about this one all week inside the back, guys. Let's give you a quick recap of how it went down. Wisconsin dug down deep and found a way to secure a coveted road win. And who knows how the pundits will view this one, but I tell you this, it sure beats trying to explain a bad loss. Guys, I look at the preseason coaches poll and compare it to where the MAC is right now, and man, what a difference.
And Kevin Connors keeping an eye on everything all over the country. Sounds like they had a good one there. And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. And they've got a little bit of a cushion here, David. If they can add to it on this drive, it would be nice.
And it definitely makes...
There he goes. Picks up the 1st down, still moving. And I wasn't sure they were going to be able to catch him. They finally did, but they gave up a huge play.
And I think if you're the head coach, defensively now, obviously, you've got 3 timeouts in your back pocket. You're trailing at this point, and the offense is going to be running the football, trying to bleed the clock. They're going to take as much time off the game clock as they can before snapping it. You've got to start thinking about using some of those timeouts.
The Ducks come to the line after ripping off that huge gain on the ground, trying to keep it going. wants to go up top on first down. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on first down.
Well, they were trying to sneak him out of the backfield that time into the passing game, but that did not fool anybody on defense. What a hit, forcing that incompletion.
Plenty of work to do here on second and long. Wide receiver going in motion. Moore to the air. Got a man, it's Scott. He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short. Referee signals timeout. It's the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. Horns up and ready to hook them. Serious noise on third down in DKR. They'll try to get the edge on the left. Just nowhere to go against this defense to find that single yard he needed on third down. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. They have the lead in a one-possession game, but they're thinking deliver the knockout blow, but this carries big-time risk on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Got away from trouble and got rid of it. And it's taken away by the defense, and they desperately needed that turnover. Trying to take it back. Pass the tag. Touchdown, Longhorn! The defense gets it done with that huge interception return.
Yeah, how about that, man? Fourth down, trying to go make a play, get this offense going, get it sparked, get some points on the board, and that couldn't have gone any worse. They throw the pick, and not only that, they return it all the way back for 6. That offense just shot themselves right in the foot.
Extra point, anything but routine. It's good, and we're tied here in the fourth quarter. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. Fielded in the end zone. It's Mitchell. Tackled at the 24 and almost breaks even with the yardage he would have gotten with a touchback. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. They're probably a little rattled after that last pick six, and who could blame them? But now deep breath, settle in, get a drive started in a tie game. They finally get him stopped, and this veteran junior running back comes up with a nice play.
One of the things you love about this running back is his physicality. He's got great size, and because of that, he can wear defenses down. Those 2, 3, and 4-yard gains in the first and second quarter, they become big gains late. Guys don't want to tackle him, and you're seeing that now.
They'll snap it from the 36. They've got a first down. Moore will throw. Got it in the middle. It's Scott. And they'll pick up the first down and mark it at the 47.
QBs, when you see zone coverage, man, can you manipulate defense when you have a good pocket and you've got time to throw. He had a little bit of time to throw. You can move guys with your eyes. That drag comes wide open. Good throw, good catch, first down.